Voters in Texas go to the polls today. Well, actually, early voting began on February 17th. It's the Texas primaries. Yes, the midterms have begun. Whether you like it or not, the midterms have begun. Republicans and Democrats are voting today in Texas to pick candidates for governor, senator, and members of the House of Representatives. And this is interesting. Today will be a big test for Kamala Harris to see if she has any muscle. In the Democratic Party, how much influence does she have with Democratic voters? She endorsed the great Texas Congresswoman, Jasmine Crockett. She endorsed Jasmine Crockett to be the Democratic nominee for Senate. Crockett served as national co-chair of Kamala Harris's presidential campaign in 2024. She spoke that year at the Democratic convention, and she considers Kamala Harris to be a mentor. So most Democrats are staying out of this primary, but Kamala Harris seems to be gambling on endorsing Jasmine Crockett. And thus, if Jasmine Crockett pulls an upset, she's the underdog here, if Jasmine Crockett wins today, that will signal that Kamala Harris has the clout to push a candidate over the finish line. If Jasmine Crockett wins today, it will be, like I said, an upset. And Kamala Harris is betting then she'll be seen as the deciding factor in Jasmine Crockett winning, and she'll be seen as someone with keen political instinct, and that's something she wants because she's running again in 2028. Jasmine Crockett, the Congresswoman, is running against James Tallarico for the Democratic nomination for Senate to run against the incumbent. Well, I'll talk about John Cornyn in a second. He may not win today. But it is generally believed, according to the polling, that Jasmine Crockett will lose to James Tallarico, a 36-year-old state representative from Austin, and he is perceived to have a slight edge over Crockett. He's pushing his Christian faith. He says, my Christian faith is antithetical to the false white Christian nationalism Republicans have been selling. So these are the latest numbers from Emerson. Tallarico has a 5-point lead over Jasmine Crockett, pretty substantial. It's considered a dead heat, but a 5-point lead is outside the margin of error. So if Jasmine Crockett wins, it will be called an upset. On the Republican side, you've got the incumbent, Senator John Cornyn, fighting for his political survival against Ken Paxton, Texas's MAGA Attorney General. We've been over him. I can't even begin. Where do I start with Ken Paxton? So Trump on Friday appeared at a campaign rally in Corpus Christi, Texas, to endorse candidates or get people to vote. He said, I'm not going to get in the middle of this primary. I'm not going to endorse Cornyn. I'm not going to endorse his opponent, his challenger, Paxton. He said, I know who I want to win, but I'm not going to say. He wants Paxton to win. Paxton is going through a nasty divorce. He was caught cheating. He was indicted. The FBI got him, and the state of Texas got him. He's been accused of doing favors for a wealthy real estate donor in return for the real estate donor giving his mistress a job. Somehow he got cleared. Maddie Hayworth is Ken Paxton's daughter, and she recorded a series of ads, campaign ads, calling her father a devoted family man who cheats on my mother. Well, she didn't mention that. But he said, kids, when I was cheating on mommy, I was thinking of her. All right. The primary to watch today is Republican, not the primary. One of the important races to watch in the Texas primary is Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez. He represents Uvalde, Texas, he's facing accusations of carrying on an affair with a staffer who ended up committing suicide last year. There have been calls within the Republican caucus for him to quit right now, before the primary. But Speaker Mike Johnson is working with a one-vote majority. There are two unfilled vacancies. Johnson has a one-vote majority. Democrats need to flip 3 seats in November in order to take control of the House. Right now, Republicans have a one-vote majority in the House of Representatives. So Tony Gonzalez isn't quitting. He's more likely to lose today to his Republican challenger, a gun nut who has a history of racist, anti-LGBTQ, anti-Semitic quotes and makes fun of veterans who commit suicide. That guy's probably going to win today and then become the next congressman from that Uvalde district. This guy lost to Gonzalez in a runoff 2 years ago by about 400 votes, but Donald Trump isn't taking sides. Here is Donald Trump in Corpus Christi on Friday. You know, when the president arrives, the Texas congressional members of the Texas congressional delegation show up, and here is Donald Trump introducing Tony Gonzalez, who is probably going to lose today partly because the woman he allegedly had an affair with committed suicide. Here's Donald Trump introducing him.
Congressman Tony Gonzalez is here. Tony, congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations on your mistress committing suicide. I wish I had that kind of luck. Hey, remember Randy Quaid? That's why Donald Trump said congratulations. Hey, remember Randy Quaid? Here is his brother, the equally talented Dennis Quaid, proving insanity often runs in families.
Hello, Texas, my home state. I love Corpus Christi, and I love Donald Trump.
Thank you, Dennis. Did a great job. Thank you, Dennis. Got a new movie coming out, by the way.
He's got a new movie coming out. What is it, a campaign? Is this a campaign rally or an old episode of the Merv Griffin Show? He's got a new movie coming out. Governor Greg Abbott is also on the ballot, and he's going to win today. You might remember he started the gerrymandering, the redistricting. It all started in Texas, which led to California voting to create 5 new reliably blue congressional seats to cancel out the 5 reliably red ones in Texas. Ron DeSantis, the Republican governor of Florida, has called a special session of his state legislature in order to redraw maps to create new red congressional seats. That was challenged in the state courts, but the Florida State Supreme Court just ruled that DeSantis can go ahead with the April legislative session to redraw the maps. In Maryland, the democratically controlled state house is trying to redraw maps to find reliably blue seats, but this new map is trapped for some reason in the state Senate Rules Committee, even though it's controlled by Democrats.